Hey there, ladies, gentlemen, and those beyond the binary. My name is ZenkoSolo, and in case you didn't already know this, on February 21st, Marvel Rivals will be getting its mid-season update. Now, while we don't know for sure what's going to happen, we do have a few things that are 100% confirmed. For starters, we will be seeing the Invisible Girl skin given to anybody who reached Gold Rank 3. We will be getting the Human Torch and the Thing as playable characters, and there will be a metric ton of mid-season balance changes. Now, naturally, I am excited for this, and I already intended on making a video talking in depth about what I expect to see from these balance changes, but that was going to be tomorrow. I have work today. I didn't think I'd be in front of this microphone, but as I was just sitting in bed scrolling through shorts mindlessly and trying to disassociate with reality, I ended up stumbling across a comment that made me realize SpiderMan is going to be getting quite the hefty nerf with this upcoming patch. As I said previously in this video, we do not have exact numbers on what's going to be changing with specific heroes, nor do we even know the heroes that are going to be changing. However, we do know what these upcoming characters are going to be doing, which brings me to the whole point of this video. There isn't just one way to make a character stronger or weaker. There are two, actually, with those being direct and indirect buffs and nerfs respectively. In case you aren't familiar with the concept, a indirect nerf would be buffing a character that counters another character. So if that enemy is on the other team and then you are going up against them, you are now at a bigger disadvantage than you already were. In the case of Spider-Man, this would be like next update Neymar gets a buff, so therefore Spider-Man is less viable by comparison. In the same vein though, there's also indirect buffs. So say for example, I don't know, who counters Neymar? Like Winter Soldier, I guess, is a pretty fucking good one. Let's say Winter Soldier gets a buff he doesn't need, right? Well, now that Winter Soldier can more effectively shut down Neymar, that means Spider-Man is more beneficial to use by comparison. And again, me saying this may come across as weird as we don't have damage numbers, but we do have the kits of somebody who will be coming out in the update, specifically the Thing. This is actually really funny to me, by the way, because I have not seen anybody talking about the Thing. There are leak videos out there on YouTube, and people just care so little about this motherfucker that they're not even bothering to talk about him. Like, the information is out there. We know what he's going to do. It's just that no one collectively cares about what he does. And I was in the same camp. I really didn't think much about him because, in my opinion, he is the lamest of the Fantastic Four by quite a hefty margin, and that's not even my own personal biases either. Never mind the fact I had a Human Torch action figure when I was a kid. Setting yourself on fire is cool, Sue Storm is a hot MILF, and Reed Richards also becomes the Maker, so all of that is cool, but what does the Thing do? Well, he's just the fucking Hulk, but he's orange and made of rocks. Yippee. However, when you look at his kit, it has quite the devastating connotations for very specific characters, namely Wolverine and Spider-Man. Before I tell you what it is, let me first ask you a question. If you are going up against a tank as Spider-Man, what is the single most effective tactic you have available to deal with them? Now, to many of you, the correct answer in this scenario will be something along the lines of going back to Spawn and switching to Winter Soldier, in which case, that's kind of fair. But I'll have to diagnose you with clinically not right because it's not what I'm looking for. The real answer would be a tug map. Specifically, using your web pool to bring those motherfuckers off the cliff and send them tumbling down like a sack of potatoes. Not only is this a insta-kill and can't really be countered unless the person is hyper aware of what's about to happen to them, but it also gives you about 30% of your ultimate meter. This is, by and large, the single strongest thing a Spider-Man can do, as its ult is extremely impactful and it gets rid of one of the hardest things for you to deal with. Granted, Venom, Penny Parker, Doctor Strange, Thor, all of them have some means of getting rid of what you try and do, but if they aren't paying attention, you'll still kill them. Now, not only does this work against tanks, but it also works against people like Cloak and Dagger, or, you know, any other healer off the beaten curb, which has more than 250 HP. Now, the reason I'm mentioning all of this is because right now, the Thing has a very specific ability, which allows it to have a complete disruption for any displacement-based abilities. Now, to put that in terms that somebody who didn't graduate Harvard can understand, that means if you have an attack that physically moves the enemy, say the Psionic Pull on Invisible Girl, Wolverine's Maroon 5 Dash, or Foxy Jump Scare, depending on your persuasion, or, of course, Spider-Man's Web Pull, it is now no longer effective. In addition to that, though, the Thing isn't the only one affected. It also applies it to everybody around him in a similar fashion to how the Incredible Hulk does with his Gamma Shield. This now means if you are going up against the Thing, which chances are at the start of next season or the next update, you are going to be doing it a lot, you pretty much much can't do anything on Spider-Man anymore. I know that this may not sound like a very big deal, but anybody who's mastered Spider-Man has come to rely on pulling people off of the map. Like, imagine if Jeff didn't have the ability to suicide dive with his ultimate. Now, as if that's not already bad enough, I would like to point out something else. In his current state, Spider-Man is getting a 10% damage boost due to being an anchor hero alongside Squirrel Girl. A lot of people will look at Spider-Man and be like, oh, he's, you know, really strong. He's this 250 one-shot combo, which isn't a one-shot combo. It's just fucking not. Half the time it doesn't work. Any healing disrupts it, but sure. Well, as it's currently implemented, if the Squirrel Girl bonus is ever removed from the game, that means Spider-Man is no longer the anchor hero for her ability, and by extension, he will be losing a 10% damage bonus for the foreseeable future. Now, it is worth mentioning that we don't fully know yet if they will be removing these team-ups, but I will say that at one point, it's just gonna be a redundancy if they don't, because everybody's gonna be an anchor and everybody's gonna have a team-up. It also doesn't make sense to call them seasonal bonuses if they last more than a season, and it would be a good way to spice up characters in the future. The point is, though, if Spider-Man ever loses that anchor, he's gonna be even weaker than he already is, which is going to be very problematic for anybody who wants to play the character. Unfortunately, as of now, we don't know what the future has in store for Peter B. Parker, or whatever the fuck you want to call him. I don't care what universe he comes from. However, if the Marvel Rivals devs want to maintain lore accuracy and spit in the face of people who play the character, it's very likely he's just gonna get nerfed and nerfed and nerfed and nerfed and nerfed until eventually he's just not playable anymore. I think I said this in my previous videos, but I have lost any and all desire to play Spider-Man at this point. As much as I enjoy him, it's just not worth dealing with the hassle. And I'm not talking about learning bee-hopping or animation cancels or anything like that. I'm talking about the actual fetid bullshit that happens when you use him. The amount of times that my web pull gets me stuck on a wall and I lose the fucking cooldown on it in addition to doing no damage just because the person ducked behind an inch worth of cover is fucking stupid. The amount of times I'm unable to contribute literally anything to a team fight because all of my cooldowns are gone and I'm just waiting is also equally as bullshit. Spending several seconds looking for a pick that I can't make a good judgment call on because healing is too fucking overtuned in this game and I can't see health bars, only to then go in, do a huge chunk of damage and not secure a kill because I get healed in the middle of the combo is also bullshit. Or how about all those times where I spend a third of the game charging up my ultimate and then unload it in addition to a combo and then don't secure a single kill because healing somehow negates it entirely. Or never mind the fact that Strange can block it with the shield, Mantis can sleep me out of it, Luna can freeze me out of it, any CC means I'm just fucking done, Penny Parker can kick me out of it, and Black Widow can literally kick me out of it. That's just fucking great. You know what's funny? I started winning like 3 times as many matches the second I played somebody who wasn't Spider-Man, and right now he's just not worth using. Hopefully they buff the guy. It's becoming more obvious by the day he's not good. Right now in competitive on both platforms, he has a 47% win rate and a 4% pick rate, so that's pretty cool. If the nerf doesn't come from the thing, it's going to come eventually. So ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and those beyond the binary, this has been ZenkoSolo, and until I feel like talking about video games again, I will see you all around. Farewell.